Good afternoon. A bit of a later Ask AJ than normal, 4:30. We're supposed to do it about 12 o'clock.
Are we? I don't think we're not in the TV guide, are we? So I don't think it matters.
People are waiting by
We
their
should have a
screens.
voice on before we start if we're late. You know, when they like say later than schedule,
Yeah. Or it could say
live on Facebook.
coming live today, and then people can arrange their coffee break by our Ask AJ.
You got fake tan on?
A little bit, yeah.
Need more.
Yeah, but I'll have nice skin when I'm old, and you won't. It's true.
When?
It's when I'm not old yet. I was going to say it's a nice day today. It's not that great, is it? To be honest, but we have got a heat wave coming. I've heard a vicious rumour that there is a heat wave coming, and he keeps trying to disprove me on his phone.
There is a heat wave coming if you're in London. So if you're in London, please enjoy the weather. If you're in Windermere,
It's fake news.
it is a huge 20 degrees.
That is pretty much a heat wave for the Lake District. Let's face it.
Well, it's 18 tomorrow. It was 18 yesterday. So yeah,
We're recording an audiobook tomorrow.
and it's 2 days.
That's
2
exciting.
days of it. It's
2
more of a
days.
heat puddle, isn't it, than a wave?
We're recording a book tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're doing an audiobook recording because, for those of you who don't know, I am an author. And I felt a bit sorry for Phil, so I thought I'll let him record the audiobook with me. So watch this space.
We realised that nobody would listen to Sam's voice for that length of time. So
We'll see. I'll just cut his boring bits out. We're here today on this Ask AJ to talk about choosing agents because we have a lovely client who has got a house in Bristol and he is in the middle of selling it, or is in the process of selling it, as in is at the beginning of his kind of planning. And he's chosen a couple of agents to give him a valuation, and we were asking him, how did you choose those agents and what made you make those decisions?
yeah, just to give a bit more background, he is about to sell his house to us
In the Lake District.
in the Lake District. So I was trying to. He's a very successful businessman, so I was trying to work out how he's chosen his agent in Bristol, and the two agents he's chosen. One is a big
You can say who it is.
national, well, Savills, yeah. One Savills, and one is a local independent that he bought through. And the only reasons he chose them was one is a big company that sells expensive houses, and one he bought through.
So one is familiar from a personal point of view, and one is familiar from a brand point of view.
Yes,
That's the
yeah.
reason,
Up
isn't it?
here, we were the only agent. I think we were the only agent he spoke to. He didn't go back to the agent he bought it through,
Oh,
and he didn't go to a big national.
so he couldn't have chosen a big national here really, because Savills do very little here.
No, we could have done
How much did you value the house at?
one.
So Savills might not have wanted it at one.
Savills would take anything around here.
Okay.
They just sold
Fair
on
enough.
Cook Road at 1.25.
They did, that's true. But they didn't go to the house, to the agent that he bought through. I think when you buy through an agent, you are less likely to like that agent.
So 1 in 8 properties that are sold through the agent they bought from.
Because I don't think experience is very good as a buyer.
Well, I think there's a few things going on. First thing is that actually the whole overall experience, whether you use the world's best agent or a terrible agent, it's not the greatest experience moving house, is it? It's quite a stressful time.
Not for me.
It is.
I don't
and,
mind moving
and
house.
quite often it's not the agent's fault. It could be the solicitor's fault, it could be a neighbour's fault.
Sometimes it is the agent's fault.
Sometimes, absolutely. Sometimes it is the agent's fault, but it
I
could
just
be.
like to play devil's advocate on
It
this.
could
Ask
be
AJ.
lots of different reasons why.
Yeah, that's it. So you end up with a nasty taste in your mouth of buying because the seller won't leave the wardrobe that you've got your heart set on, and you're going to kind of in your mind blame the agent because it's all part of the same process. So therefore, it was the agent that stopped getting stopped you getting that beautiful wardrobe, and when you sell again, you've got a bad idea about that agent, even though you can't remember specifics because it might be 10 years later or more.
Yeah, and when you buy, buyers think, rightly or wrongly, possibly rightly, that they are then not a client, but a responsibility of that estate agent, but the estate agent doesn't see it that way, and therefore
We're there to protect our clients' investment,
the sellers.
the seller's investment, We do have a duty of care to the buyer as well, so we obviously can't give false information to the buyer. But it's very obvious to a buyer that the client is the seller. Our client is the seller. That's our first duty of care to the seller.
And then as an industry, and so we probably don't do as well as we should do, is nobody really keeps in touch. That's it. It's a transaction.
Yeah.
And then it's forgotten about. But 1 in 8 seems high to me.
As in, it's a very low number of people that do it.
As in, it's a very low number. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think we've sold 2 or 3 homes that resold.
We very rarely miss a house that we sold. In fact, we were asked to value a house just this week that we sold to them, and they're thinking about selling again.
Yeah, but let's say how many houses have we sold since we opened? 200.
Yeah, say.
So that's 195 that have not gone back to the previous agent. So new agents will add it to that 1 in 8. Agents that shut down as well.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because we've sold them.
Yeah, because we've sold them. And I suppose we haven't been open long enough to see if people come back. We've never had someone sell with someone else that I can remember. One.
But they didn't know us, and they bought from abroad, didn't they?
Which one are you thinking of?
Well, I won't say on camera. No, I wasn't thinking that one. That's 2.
Oh, that's 2.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of yours now.
Oh, actually, no. Ours was just a valuation. The Easter egg people.
That melted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that wasn't one.
No.
Oh yeah, it was a valuation, so they didn't know of us.
They didn't know of us. No. Okay, so if somebody is thinking about selling and they've got a high value home, there are going to be things that they consider. In fact, I've actually just been on the phone to a lovely lady from Bolton. If you're watching this, hello. And she's hoping to buy one of our houses, and she's gone on the market with an agent in Bolton who shall be nameless at 395,000. And there is so much wrong with that advert that I can't even begin to tell you. And at 400,000, that is a significant investment anywhere, but actually it is in Bolton, definitely. And the family that will be looking at buying that need to be wooed a little bit. They need to be seduced into buying that house at 400,000, and they need to see, because it's a beautiful house, it's very, very well presented, but the photographs are very unflattering, and therefore she could be leaving money on the table. So I said to her, why did you choose the agent you did? And I think she chose them for the fee, because it's a very, very low fee. It's like a fixed fee agency. And what I was explaining to her was that by going with another agent who sells high value homes, she could win far more than the fee that she would spend, because the fee should only ever be an investment. It should never be a cost. And so, for example, this house on the market 395, we would never value a house at 395, would we? Why wouldn't we value a house at 395?
Thanks, Sam. We would not value a house at 395.
I thought I'd let you speak for a bit.
For a few reasons. First reason is that if you're looking for a house and you put in minimum 400,000, maximum 500,000
on Rightmove
on the portals, then if a house is at 395, you wouldn't see that particular house. But for no logical reason, 395
or even 399
doesn't make the house look cheaper anymore. There's no logical reason to do it. And at £400,000, it is a more confident price. At 395, really saying come and ask 375, come and offer 375.
It's a Primark price.
Whereas at 400,000,
it's a John Lewis
a whole price. So even your first offer is going to be 39 something. Generally
or even
speaking.
38 something.
Yeah, but it's usually, but 395, you feel like 375 is a logical first offer.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I see what you mean. So at 400. You don't think people would offer any less than 39 something?
39 something.
But at 395, you're going to go down.
It works the opposite way around, because you're dropping from the 4 to the 3. Already feels like the offer's too low.
Yeah, but the main reason I think it's a significant reason is Rightmove, because there's no point in saying 399 will be worse and this is 395. There's no point in saying 399 995, because Rightmove doesn't look at somebody who's looking at 400, 500 to go, well, I'll chuck that one in so they can see it. And quite often there's a good 30% of homes that person would never see that are priced just below the 400,000. So we're not selling, gardening rakes in Woolworths at 19.99. That's not what we're selling. We're selling a house.
Woolworths, that's a blast from the past.
So am I. At 400,000, so it needs to be a confident price. So straight away, I was saying to this lovely lady, but that agent's already cost you £5,000. So you need to add that onto the fee, because that £5,000, and if what Phil is saying is right about the negotiation, you're already starting off on a weaker starting point, then actually it could have cost her £10,000, £15,000, or for the sake of a fee that's probably only £6,000 versus £800.
I'd also argue that if it's a cheap fee agent, they are not very good at negotiating their own fee. Why would they be good at negotiating your house price?
Agreed. We put a lot of store into our marketing, as you've already seen, I'm sure, if you've been following us. That's our agency marketing, but very importantly, our property marketing. If we don't get the marketing for a home right, we could significantly reduce the number of people who want it. If we get it right, and we can see it when it comes through, can't we? We can go, that is going to fly off the shelves, because it's absolutely beautiful. It looks amazing. And I talk to the team that do the viewings, and I say, how does it show? Does it feel like £1 million house, for example? And they say, yeah, it does. We've given them some tips about how to style the living room, and to make sure they always got plain bedding, and have those doors open, or use a different door to get in. All those things add to the value, and so our advice is part of that package. And if you're selling a house at £800, you can't afford to give that advice. In fact, you probably don't know it. So, how to choose an agent? Don't just choose on brand alone, because the brand may not mean anything. It may be an empty brand. Just because you recognise it doesn't mean to say it's good. Don't choose on fee, because that could be a false economy. As we've already said about our lovely lady today, she'd already lost £5,000 of a potential £6,000 fee just by pricing it wrongly. And choose an agent that's going to make your house look amazing, because if they can't make your house look amazing, then what are you actually paying them for? If you're paying them just go on Rightmove, then you may as well use Purple Bricks or somebody else. But if you want an actual agent to give you advice, and to be there for you through the whole process, and to help you filter out the right buyer, and to negotiate skillfully. We teach our team here to negotiate skillfully. It's part of one of the things that they learn in training.
Yeah, I'd also trust your gut in terms of who you liked as a person that represented that agency. Who do you think your fee that they earn, which agency would that mean more to? Now that's not necessarily always the best answer, but there will be some agents, like the big boys, where a fee of £10,000, £20,000 is a drop in the ocean. Doesn't really matter. I mean, imagine the offer gets accepted in the office. How are they going to react? They're probably going to go and put the kettle on. Whereas in a family business like ours, for example, the £20,000 fee takes my kids and Sam's kids for 2 weeks to Disneyland, which is very much on the agenda at the moment. You can see our grey hairs.
Also, from a reputational point of view, I think that is super important for us. We'd only been open 2.5 years when we got the opportunity to sell the most amazing home we'd ever been in, which is Ballaray on the other side of the lake. And the lady who was selling, who was a lovely, lovely lady, Diana, she's actually a personal friend now, isn't she? She's great. Yeah. And we sat in front of her, and she'd had, was it Knight Frank or Savills? I can't remember now. One or two. Knight Frank. And I felt that, yes, they were doing the best. Okay, well, they're doing the best to sell it, and they did actually quite nice marketing. But how much does it actually mean? You know, there is no Mr. Savills anymore, whereas we are, obviously, an Ashdown and Jones. We sat in front of her and said to her, and obviously these are just words, so we backed it up with our promises, but we were saying to her, this would be everything for us to sell this house. To have, you know, that on our case studies, that we have sold Ballaray for the asking price, when another, you know, multinational agent has failed, is a real feather in our cap. It really means something to us.
Yeah, it did.
And when she agreed to go with us, which was great, we had hugs and everything. It was quite an emotional time. I think there must have been 12 of us turn up for the photo shoot and the lifestyle movie. And we spent days there, because we were absolutely determined to sell that house no matter what. We would not rest, and you know, we were talking about it out of hours, we were talking about it on weekends, we were talking about it in every single meeting. We pitched our goal to sell that house for asking price, and we were not going to stop until we got there. So does your agent make you feel like that? Does it really matter? We've just recently sold a beautiful home down in Bowness for a local family, to a local family. We've just been invited out by the local family that's bought it to go and have a look around and give them our advice about what to do with it. The local family we sold for, it made a massive difference to their lives. Us having our board at the end of that road was a matter of pride for us. And actually it was nothing to do with the fee there. It was everything to do with how we felt about how we conducted that transaction. And, you know, when he came in to give us the key and he told us his wife was still cleaning the kitchen and we had a hug and he said it was an emotional day and that all really matters to us.
Was I on holiday?
Yeah, you were, yeah. And me and Helen were racing each other to the door to give him a big cuddle. And he goes, "Oh, we're cuddling now, are we?"
we still have people that we saw for 3 years ago like that. We were in the Retreats and Hideaways office downstairs probably 3 months ago. And the owner of a house that we sold on Helm Road came in. He's quite well known locally. Ken is called, and just to have someone like that who still wants to come in and speak to us as friends, not as clients. He's got a big reputation locally, and
he took a chance on us, didn't
he? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he took a risk, and now because he took a risk on us, it goes the other way, and it turns into more of a friendship than client business.
I think so. I suppose what we're saying is, even if you're not in this area, if you're in this area, of course, we will be there with you, having a cup of tea with you and being your friend. But if you're not in our area and you're wondering how you choose an agent, or even if you've chosen the right agent, if you don't get that feeling that agent will do anything they can for you, and your sale means so much to them personally, as a team and personally and professionally, then maybe you're with the wrong agent. We particularly favour local independent agents that are skilled at what they do. I think it's a difficult combination to get right, but if you can get it right, they're usually the best. So not the people who've been there for 150 years who, you know, their name isn't the same name as the name above the door anymore. Not the people who, and obviously I'm using a wide brush here because some agents aren't like that. Not the agent who is the multinational agent who's seen in the magazines, you know, because how much does your sale really mean to them? You're just going to be an entry in their books.
I guess the challenge is that it's not always your fault necessarily. You picked the wrong agent. You might have tried to pick up on the right
criteria,
but haven't, because I asked the gents who came in downstairs that we talked about earlier with the £1 million house in the guy who's selling Bristol, who sells the nice houses there, and does anybody do anything different? I think there's about 40 agents in Bristol. I said, no, nobody does anything different. So what's he got to choose on?
Yeah.
There is nothing to choose on because as far as, and I'm sure all those 40 will tell you they do things differently.
They'll all give you the promises.
They'll all tell you they will, but the important thing is that he can't see anything that's different, and therefore they don't do anything different.
And it is a good challenge. What do you do that's different? We've been challenged on it, and very often people don't want a list of promises, verbal promises, because every agent's going to say that. Every agent's going to say we're going to do the best for you. Every agent's going to say our team's the most skilled. But actually, if we put a brochure in front of them and say this is what we will do for you, at least they're choosing on something tangible, and that's sometimes an easier decision to make. So if you're not sure about that you've chosen the right agent or which agent to choose, we also, I don't know if you know when you're watching this, we have a marketing agency, and we supply estate agents all over the country, only the best estate agents, of course, best independents, with the best marketing, so that they can do what we've done in Ashdown Jones, they can do it in their part of the world. So we have a really good network of over, nearly 100 agents that we can recommend to you, and by virtue of the fact they are Firewave, which is our agency, members, they are already at a certain level. So do ask if you're in a different part of the country and you'd like to know. We've just recommended to that lovely lady in Bolton, the Newtons of Bolton, who are a fantastic agency, Sam and Laura, who do great work, and they do everything we've just talked about, and it really, really matters to them too.
It does.
So I suppose that's the question, does it matter to your agent? And I think we should wrap up there because we just rambled now.
What time is it now?
4:48. What time do we start?
About 4 o'clock.
Yesterday.
You save our voices for the audio recording. Go home and have lots of whiskey tonight, I think. Talking in a really deep voice.
What type of book are you recording?
Alright guys, have a nice evening whatever you're doing. Catch you soon. Bye.
Catch you soon.